Chapter 5 Behind Her Green Eyes.
The week went on as normal. Dominick treated me no differently than he had when I first arrived, and I did my best to pretend like nothing had happened between us, even though he was silently eating me alive. I was never happier when he got called away to another meeting about the film on the following Monday. There would be no reckless masturbating in his bedroom this time around. That's not to say that the desire wasn't there. Even though we kept our distance from each other, I still had a deep yearning for him. The night we had slept together played through my mind like my own personal porno every afternoon before bed. Oh well. Deep down, I had always known we were never meant to be. I was lucky things had gotten as far as they did. Even though he had reacted adversely, I didn't regret losing my virginity to Dominick. He was still the only man whom I felt that had deserved it. It was time for me to move on, though. The dream was over, and reality was calling my name. School was more important than love or sex. I would buckle down my studies, get my degree, and go on with life. History would repeat itself, as Dominick had only been a stepping stone in my sister's life to get from point A to point B, so he would be a stepping stone in mine. While I was glad that he would be gone for a few days, it kind of sucked that it happened during the middle of the week. With the semester in full swing, we had all kinds of homework, so there really wasn't any time to go out after school. I spent the majority of the afternoons doing homework, which left little time for anything else besides watching television. Nothing good seemed to be on, though, so I decided to venture into Dominick's office to look for something to read. Romance had never interested me before, but between Carmen gushing about Dominick's books and the new movie deal that was going on, I was a bit curious. I found Behind Her Green Eyes in the middle of the bookshelf. Part of me groaned as I picked it up, eyeing the thick spine with apprehension. Do I really want to get into this? Will Dominick get mad at me for reading it? Meh. Who cares? I don't have to read the whole thing. And if he asks about it, I'll just say I was bored and couldn't think of anything better to do. I took the book to my room, flopping onto my bed as I creased the spine to read the first page. To my surprise, the story was rather captivating, though I got a sick sense of familiarity from reading it. I found myself staying up past my bedtime to see what would happen next. Then I stowed the book away in my backpack to read between classes. My heart sank as I read page after page, yet I couldn't put the book down. It was like I was reading the deepest part of Dominick's feelings, invading his privacy all over again. The story was about a boy and a girl from a small farming community. Throughout the girl's life, the boy was always there for her. They grew up together, and he fell deeply in love with her. She didn't feel the same way, though, and eventually she ended up moving. The boy was sad. He stuck around their town for a few years until he realized he couldn't ignore his feelings anymore, that he'd never love another woman for as long as he lived. Determined to get the woman back, he tracked her down, but by that time she had already met and fallen in love with someone else. Through good old-fashioned romance, kind words, raunchy sex, and loving reflections, he managed to convince the girl that he was the better choice, and at the end of the book, the two got married. I was thankful I finished the book at home. By the last page I was sobbing, not because it was such a happy ending, but because I knew the characters so well, too well. The woman was Tammy, the man was Dominick, and the other potential love interest was Marcus. I could tell that Dominick had poured all of his heart and soul into the pages, bleeding them out like an open wound.